Okay, there are three main things you need to know in order for savings to take place. One would be black and white expenses, and those would fall into two categories: fixed expenses and anticipated expenses. Basically, that lets you know where you are right now in your life, like how much money does it take for you to get through 1 month. Another thing you need to know is having a clear goal. What is your goal? Our goal was to buy land, and we knew the specific amount we wanted to save. Originally it was $25,000. So our clear goal, it was what it was and how much money we needed. And then having a timeline. Those are the three things. The timeline basically, for us it was 2 years. Now it's a year and a half. So ours has changed a little bit, but this is how we came up with our system. So you have those three things. How much does it cost to live? And then how much money do you make? So you kind of see how much extra money you have to put into your goal, and then how long it will take to make that all come together. Okay, so by looking at your expenses in a black and white manner, the haphazard decision making of, oh, I like this apartment, or I like this phone, or this is what I love to eat, so I'll just buy whatever, it becomes real clear that maybe we're spending too much in one area, and that money is coming from your goals and dreams, essentially, because you only have so much money to go around. So if you're putting it into your rent, then it's not going into land, essentially would be that. So let's see. Lowering all fixed expenses, maybe this is obvious, but it's worth repeating. We pay $386 a month for rent. We got our rent as low as possible because that's a fixed expense that will always be what it is. We figured out that we spend $120 a week on food. Before we figured it out, what we were doing was just buying what made sense, and what made sense was, I think it was like $400 a week or something. I don't know, some ridiculous amount of money that when we weren't haphazardly just going through life doing things that in the moment made sense, and we looked at the bigger picture, which included goals and timelines and all this other stuff, those numbers came down, which was really awesome. And then other fixed expenses would be like your phone bill, your utility bill. It's not totally fixed, but I consider it fixed because it's super solid. Every month you're gonna have that bill, so we just throw that in there and just kind of come up with the most you would anticipate to spend on your electricity or whatever. So yeah, all right, so there's a whole lot in there, and I guess we'll go through the box and I'll show you exactly what we do. So you figure out all your expenses, and you get your fixed expenses written down, and then you go into your anticipated expenses. The anticipated expenses, I think, is the one that kind of throws people for a loop. Like having car insurance due once every 6 months or something. Or you drive a car and there has to be oil changes, and there's maintenance problems, and you got to get new tires. So it's like there's all these things that seem pretty straightforward, but since it's anticipated, you can just kind of put it off. And in our system, that's not the case. Nothing that could possibly be anticipated is put off. Everything is organized in order for us to move forward into our goals in the timeline that we are that we anticipate being realistic. Okay, one thing to note, that our lifestyle different than other people. Some people have car payments, some people have childcare. My friend, who I helped her organize and manage her financial life, shopping for clothes, makeup, and getting her hair done, getting her hair cut was not an optional luxury. It wasn't, if she could afford it, it was a fixed part of her lifestyle. So that was organized in there that you won't see in ours. If you have debt or school loan, that is a fixed credit card debt, whatever. I mean, that is like rent. You have to pay that. That is fixed, and that goes in the box as well. Our box is simpler. We have a pretty straightforward life. There are two ways to organize your money. There's another way to say that is, I wait tables, so I get paid every day. Mark does not wait tables, he gets a paycheck. So the way I organize mine is, so every day I know the minimum amount of money I need to make in order to get every single aspect of my life, anticipated, goals, rent, everything, squared away. And I'll show you how I did that. And Mark does his every 2 weeks. So I do mine every day. I have a minimum amount I need to make every day, and he has a minimum amount he needs to make every 2 weeks. And so I'll go into that. The envelope system is what I call it because that's so much basically what it is. And I'll show you what that looks like. It's as clear as that can be. It's a bunch of envelopes. Redundancy, the value of redundancy, I learned with prepping community, and basically anything that you really care about, anything you value, you will have redundancy in that ground. So for us, we have an envelope that is for food, so that way we always have money for food. There's never like, oh, I need this extra whatever people buy for food, and have to pull out of, you know, our land fund or whatever because we don't have enough money. So there's redundancy with food. Our backup is having a meat fund share. Like, we get a meat share once every 2 months. And so to have that money already waiting, it's like there's 2 spots that we put our food money into. One is the grocery store that we go to once a week to stay very clear on how much we're spending. And then there's a redundant part of that envelope, which is solely for meat share. Okay. Another redundancy we have is with our gasoline. We have a gasoline fund, and we also have a spring water fund, which is the money needed to go buy gasoline to go pick up our spring water. So meat share and spring water, it's like we could run out of all the food money in the world and we're still able to pay for that meat share. We could run out of gas, but we still have enough money to go get spring water once a month. If we run out of all the gas in the world, we've got that spring water money. We can go get spring water. So the redundancy is just to ensure, like some people I know may really want to have herbs, so they may have that redundancy. It won't come directly out of their groceries, but it's kind of in that same boat. And after you organize all your money, there's always money left over because you don't really ever spend 100% of the money you earn. At least if you are working hard or super clever, or careful about how luxurious of a life you live. And that extras has a place, and it all ends up getting spent for the most part anyway. Money has a way of being used, so anticipate that as well. Alright, I'm going to show you